Hi guys, it's me, Ms. Farrah. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about quite a serious topic. And it's a topic that my dear friend Miss Luca from Ireland touched on her Instagram. She did a video on there talking about this issue. So I'm going to link her video below. She's gorgeous, she's wonderful, and she's extremely smart. I love you, Luca. So she goes more in depth into this, but I just wanted to give my view on this, and I feel like a lot of other trans women who do post vlogs and stuff should add their view on these things as well, because I think it's important, and I think the more of us who speak about these things, we can educate other trans women, and we can educate trans attracted men as well. Now, let me just firstly say before I start this video, I am not man-hating, I'm not bashing men who like trans women at all. I'm not talking about that specifically. I'm just talking more of a culture, a way that our culture is when it comes to dating men, women and trans women. So just understand that I'm not bashing anybody. We all have something to learn from this situation, and I think it's important to talk about these things so that we can learn instead of keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So what I'm talking about is there's a real issue with these days. Even though trans people are very current and very in people's faces at the moment, and it's something that a lot of people are aware of now, whereas, you know, we were kind of in the shadows for a really long time. It really feels like now that trans women and men and dating men and having relationships with men, or just having any kind of relationship with a man when you're a trans woman away from sex, has become extremely difficult. Now I think there are a few reasons for this, and I'm going to give my reasons to why I think this, and if you have different views or if you have anything you'd like to add to it, then please leave some comments in the bottom. Now I feel like when I was younger, before social media kind of really took off, when I first started to go into trans clubs, because there was no social media, trans safe spaces and trans clubs were the only places for trans people and trans attracted men to come to meet trans women or to find trans women, whether it be for sex, relationships, whatever. But the main point is that it was a real connection, it was a real interaction. So you used to get loads and loads of trans women and loads of men at trans clubs, because that was how you met someone. You couldn't go online and meet someone. Okay, there were a few trans chat rooms and things like that, but generally we didn't have the technology then that we do now, where you can have lots of pictures and all that kind of stuff. So generally people went out to meet people, which also meant that you had to spend more time with someone. So if you met someone at a club, if you didn't sleep with them that night, you would usually get their number, or you give them yours, and then you would meet up again afterwards for dinner or for go to the cinema or something, you know, a proper date. And that way, because there was no social media, you had to interact with people, which meant you had to get to know someone a bit better before other things happened, because you couldn't really do that online. And so what happened is that when I was younger, you know, I was in a relationship for 13 years. I met my boyfriend when I was 21. He was a bit older than me. But I met him when I was 21. He knew what he was looking for. He was comfortable with a trans woman. He dated trans women before. He was looking for a long-term relationship. I was very lucky that I went from having a very supportive family to going into a relationship with someone at the beginning of my transition, or early in my transition, with somebody who could see my potential and was willing to work with me and help me get to where I wanted to get to, because they saw the potential in me and they saw what I could become. I feel like a lot of guys these days, they chase these girls who look stunning and blah, 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 blah. And then they kind of overlook people who are just starting out and things like that. And I think that if you could meet someone at the beginning of this transition and support them and help them through it, okay, you're going to have to suffer with them through the difficult times, but the results at the end you're going to benefit from, because you've helped them get to where they want to be. And I can't tell you how important and how helpful it was to me when I was younger, going through my transition, at the beginning stages of my transition, having a partner who loved me to support me to go through that. Yes, it's great to have family and friends, but to have someone who actually loves you, who's supporting you and pushing you forward and has your best interests at heart at the beginning of your transition, you can't beat that. And I'm for whatever else the relationship was at the end, after we split up, I will always give him credit for what he did for me at the beginning of our relationship and the beginning of my transition, because I don't know if I would have been able to do everything that I did as quickly as I did, or as efficiently as I did, because I had doubts and I had worries, and he was there to tell me that I could do it and not to be worried and not to be afraid, and this is what I wanted and that I should do it, and push me forward to do things that I would have usually run away from. Now, obviously, that's not all you can get. That's not the only reason you should date someone for that reason. I'm just saying that's kind of an added benefit. But I feel like now with social media, guys, you hardly see guys at trans clubs anymore. I mean, there are guys at trans clubs, but they're a lot less than what they used to be. And I feel like because social media now is so very quick and easy, they can meet the people they're looking to meet online. And also, they don't have to bother with trying to get to know someone. They could just go in for what it is they're looking for. And the worst that can happen is someone could block them or stop talking to them. There's no risk involved, or there's no effort involved in having to try and date someone or get to know someone. You can just talk to them online quickly. Now, you know, men aren't all to blame. You know, a lot of girls, when they're starting off in transition and stuff, well, all of us, I think I did when I was younger as well. You know, you're seeking validation. You want the attention from men. It's very easy if you find a guy that you find visually attractive who's interested in having sex with you, to let him come over in private and sleep with him. He gets what he wants. You think you get what you want. And then you don't hear from him again. She's upset. He's moved on. You know, that kind of story. There's blame on both parts. You know, girls need to stop allowing men to use them, because I don't always think that men are purposely doing it. Like anything, people will try and get away with whatever they can get away with. And if you let someone get away with something, they'll keep doing it. And there will always be a trans girl who will let a guy walk all over them or let them use them, knowingly or unknowingly. The point is that we, as trans women, we need to be a bit stronger and prouder in who we are, and not let men walk all over us, and know our standards, know who we are and what it is we want, and not drop our standards for anything less. And as soon as we start behaving like that, men will start understanding how they're supposed to be treating us. And then that cycle will change. I think also the problem is that because when things were more underground, it was easier for men to date trans women because it was all stealth and people weren't really aware of trans people in the general public at the time. And I think now, because it's so prevalent in our society and people are very aware of it, I think it puts a lot of men at unease, and they're scared to go out with a trans woman in public and stuff, because they're worried that someone might know, or they might see someone that they know, and then the ripple effect of people finding out and what it could do to their life. And that's the thing we need to understand. You know, it's a difficult thing for guys who want to date trans women as well. They could lose a lot from people finding out that they're into trans women or that they're dating a trans woman. A guy who is interested in a trans woman who wants a proper relationship with us has a lot to take on. Now, let's not lie about this. But we need to understand, they need to understand how much we've gone through to get to where we are. And, you know, it's kind of equal. You know, if I was dating a guy, I would not expect him to tell everyone in his life about me unless we became serious, like properly serious. But as long as he was fine with me and was okay with my family and was fine with me going out with me in public and all of that kind of stuff, I would be okay with that, because he shouldn't have to out himself until he's in a proper serious relationship. You know, I don't think any girl should ever put a guy under that kind of pressure to try and get him to out himself to his friends and family if it's not really a serious relationship. So, you know, there's two sides to all that kind of stuff. But I think that, you know, it's always going to be such a problem because of this toxic masculinity thing that we have, and the way men are supposed to behave, and the way people look at men and how they look at them differently if they're gay, or if they like trans women, or if they're, you know, effeminate, or if they're bisexual. There's all these kind of weird things that go along with men being masculine or not being masculine, and I think that's the part that we need to change. I'm going to leave the link down below for Luca's video because she goes into so much more detail than I have. I just wanted to touch on this topic a little bit and give my views on it. I know I get a bit tongue-tied sometimes, but when I get really interested in what I'm talking about, I lose my trail of thought sometimes. So I do apologise. I hope you enjoyed this video. The links will be down below for Luca's video. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Lots of love. See you all soon.